Go ahead and begin, Elaine.
Okay. Good morning. And good morning. Good afternoon. You can tell I'm already messing up. Thank you for joining us today on our social media workshop. This program is being recorded and will be shared on our chamber website for future listening. Before we get started, I would like to share that all attendees are currently muted and this is to avoid background noises. However, the chat box is open, and also you can raise your hand if you have questions. There will be a question and answer at the end, so feel free to go ahead and submit your questions at any time. Okay. I also like to encourage you, if you can, to turn your cameras on. We love to see your smiling faces, and what we found is that makes us a little bit more happy when we see people and they're looking back at us. Today, I am thankful to have connected with our presenters, B. Rayborn, owner of Weimar, Carolinas, along with Caitlin Smith, marketing and social media manager. They will help guide us in understanding how we can utilize social media to grow our businesses. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the experts. Now, I already have a few that got your camera on, but let's do the clapping. Okay, there we go. All right, let's turn it to B and Caitlin.
Thank you, Elaine. We're excited to have this opportunity to present to you all a little bit about social media. I'm B. Rayborn. I'm the president of Weimar, Carolinas, and this is Caitlin Smith. She's our social media manager, and she's really the brains behind our social media here at Weimar. Weimar is a full service advertising agency. We handle all aspects of media, from traditional advertising to website design. We like to say, if you can think it, we can do it, we can build it. For this particular presentation, though, we've been asked to focus in on social media and how it can benefit clients. And, first, kind of, what is social media? How do we use it? How do we get us set up on it? So many people are familiar with social media in the term itself, but there are so many platforms and so many opportunities that we can hopefully share with you through this presentation. So you'll learn a little bit and see how it can benefit your company. First, we want to start out with what is social media? Social media is a computer-based technology that facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through the building of virtual networks and communities. Users engage with social media via computer, tablet, or smartphone.
All right, so there's so many social media platforms out there that everyone uses, but for the sake of time today, we're just going to go over the 4 largest social media platforms that we use for marketing here at Weimar. And that's starting with Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And we'll get into those a little bit further throughout the presentation, more in depth. But one thing to keep in mind is that all social media networks are not created equal. While Instagram might be a powerhouse for one brand, it'll do nothing for another company. And while one business might have tons of engagement on Facebook, another business will gain more traction through LinkedIn.
So how your business could benefit from social media marketing. The average person spends 3 hours a day on social media platforms. As of December 2020, 3.4 billion people are active on social media networks. That's a lot of time and a lot of folks that's on social media. Some of the ways that social media can benefit your business is obviously it helps brand awareness. It increases increases website traffic. It's very cost effective. It can increase sales. It's the best word of mouth marketing you can possibly do. Generates new clients, and it keeps our existing clients. Direct contact with your customers allows you to communicate also with your customers on a daily basis if chosen.
All right, so now that we've went over the bases of social media, we're going to get more into those platforms and figuring out which one could be right for your business. So to start, we're going to start with Facebook, which has over 1.8 billion active users every day. So it's no surprise that it has become one of the biggest ways to find your target audience, build an email list, and get new customers. There are 4 key aspects of Facebook and how your business could benefit from using this kind of, social media marketing. And it has a massive audience reach. Like we said earlier, it's 1.8 billion active users. 2, targeted advertising. There's various components to market your brand, like, for example, Facebook stories, lives, marketplace, and others. It also has powerful analytics behind it. There's actually a insight tab through your business manager that'll give you an overview of the past 30 days and which ads perform the best. If you have new page likes or followers, just some things that are important to keep up with as you continue to market through social media. And now we're going to go through some of the statistics. So people spend an average of 38 minutes a day on Facebook. There are 90 million pages for small to medium-sized businesses. 78% of American customers say they've discovered new products through Facebook, and 74% of Facebook users visit the site at least once a day.
Facebook is probably the one that I personally use most. And I think probably most do, between that and Instagram. And I mean, all of those statistics ring true for me as well, because in my personal situation, there's so many products that I've found and seen and liked through Facebook and my friends sharing Facebook posts. So, Facebook's probably the #1 marketing platform for social media.
Now we're going to move on to Twitter and how Twitter could be right for your business. So Twitter is actually considered the platform that gives everyone a voice without the noise. And it's great for advertisers who want to reach a bigger group of users or create engagement for their existing customers. There are 3 main Twitter ad formats, which is promoted tweets, promoted accounts, and promoted trends. The cost of a Twitter ad depends on the ad format that you decide to choose moving forward. So there's also 4 key aspects of how Twitter could benefit your business, and it's easy to engage with followers and influencers. There's free targeting with hashtags and that @ symbol. And it's also considered the outlet to express one's opinion, and Twitter focuses more on topics and conversations and less on graphics generally. So Twitter by the numbers, it has 186 million daily users, and 71% of Twitter users say they use the network to get their news. 85% of small and medium-sized business users use Twitter to provide customer service, and 500 million tweets are sent out per day. So Twitter could be good for your company to, reach out, say someone uses a hashtag with your business, you could monitor that and respond back with customer service and any feedback. All right, and now we're going to move on to LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a networking tool exclusively for professionals, and it revolutionized the way we seek, find, and get hired for jobs. LinkedIn is used more for business-to-business marketing rather than business-to-customer. For example, it might be a better way for you to find a business partner rather than sell a product or service. So it has 65 million active users every day. Great for promoting business content. It makes it easier to recruit talent, and it's perfect for networking. And 92% of business-to-business marketers include LinkedIn into their marketing mix. 100 million job applications are submitted through LinkedIn every month, and 95% of recruiters use LinkedIn.
And there are 766 million members. For example, I am a member as well on LinkedIn, but I'm not as active on it. I guess we become more active in it when we're either searching for a need, some people use it as a great networking tool, which I think it's probably best for networking. I personally just don't use it as much, but we see the benefits for our clients that do, for sure.
All right, and now we're moving on to Instagram. Within only 2 months of Instagram's launch in 2010, it had over 1 million users. It's considered the show rather than tell advertising for products, values, and voices. So one thing that I think sets Instagram apart from the others is its highly appealing visual aspect. It's also popular among the younger generation, and it's great for online shopping. There's also various components to market your brand. For example, Instagram stories, IGTV, and Instagram shop. My experience when I've been on Instagram is it's really easy, probably too easy you're scrolling and you see a product that you like and it takes you directly to your website. Use Apple Pay and within 2 minutes you've bought whatever product you're interested in. It's really easy to use. And now we're going to go over the stats for Instagram. There's 500 million plus daily users. 75% of users are between the ages of 18 to 24. 200 million plus Instagrammers visit at least one business profile per day, and 75.3% of US businesses are on Instagram as of 2020.
Instagram, I think, is great for retail, certainly retail, anytime you wanted to, if you wanted to do the buy now type thing, because as Caitlin says, a lot of them, I love Instagram for the pictures. And even though it says 18 to 24, I'm a little older than 24, and I still love Instagram. So I think since these stats came out, it's definitely gotten to an older demographic as well, I believe. I think we'll all say that there's an upper end that is on Instagram as well now, too. I love it personally. So the 5 core pillars of social media marketing, you kind of, these are core things that we want to keep in mind anytime we are building a social media campaign. One is our strategy. We want to go over what are your overall goals. What are the goals that you want to accomplish? And then it's which platform best fits your brand. Each business is going to, as we discussed, the top 4 platforms. Each business will benefit from each one in a different way. It could be that each business would benefit from all of them. What content do you want to post? It's important to have a strategy, have a campaign behind what you want to push. Planning and publishing. What time is your page getting the most interaction? And we're going back to the analytics because, you can tell once you have a page, you'll be able to tell what time your page is getting the most interaction. Also, you're able to schedule ahead of time so that, for example, you could take, say, an hour in a week and, work with scheduling some of your posts so that you don't have to necessarily stop down every day to do it. Listening and engagement. As social media presence grows, conversations will increase. The comments, the page tags, the direct messages, all of those things are important. And it's important once you do establish your Facebook page that you maintain that page or your Instagram page or whatever you happen to be on any social media platform. You have to speak back to these people that are, interacting with you directly. It's important. Basically, don't do it if you don't have the time or the opportunity to reach back to them with questions they may have. Advertising, we'll get into this a little bit more on boost or sponsored ads, kind of what's the difference in those and which would be best for you. And we'll also talk more about creating the target audiences and how we are able to do that. And how, basically getting creative. The creative is going to be what sells. Now video pictures works much better, as we know, than any words could possibly do. So, you want to get creative with your post. Analytics and reporting, as we said, on the back end, in the business manager phase of all of the platforms. You're able to track what is and isn't working. So there are often times when we run our campaigns for our clients, we look on the back end and we find out what post generated the most return. You know, oftentimes, you know, we'll get into this a little more too, but whether it's a promotion or a contest or you know, that type involvement with your followers, it helps grow your followers and gets more likes. It allows us to focus on new strategies if one's not working. One of the best parts about social media also is that we do get that. A lot of times in traditional media, you can't tell what's working and what's not. You can only hope that it is by the traffic in the store. But you know, the analytics actually gives us a little more to go by. So, and then at that point, we can make changes accordingly.
All right, so now that we've went over those 5 core pillars, we're going to go back to basics and start by creating your business Facebook profile. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is add your business name and a description about yourself. Name your page after your business or another name that people search to find your business. Use the About section to tell people what your business does. And then next, you're going to add a profile picture and cover photo. Choose photos that best represent your business. Many businesses choose to use their logo as their profile photo. For the cover photo, choose an image of your store, products, or one of your current marketing campaigns. It's best to make your profile as cohesive as possible. If your pictures match your cover picture, matches your profile picture, and then some of your ad campaigns, so that way they can recognize and keep up with the new content that you have to post.
Yeah, and it just goes with the brand awareness and the consistency of your brand. You want to make sure that it follows suit with your Facebook page or website page, Instagram, you know, everything. They need to recognize your brand.
All right, and the last thing that you're going to do is add the action you want people to take. At the top of your page, you can add a call to action that directs your page visitors to do something, like visit your website or call your store. And I guess kind of like choosing your overall goal, it's also important, are you looking to bring traffic to your website, or are you want to use the messaging tab so that way you can focus more on customer service and directly, being able to connect with them. And you just can set that up to, suit your overall goals for your Facebook page. All right, and now that we've set your page up, the next step is setting up and defining your personalized customer audience. So there's 4 key steps when creating that, and it's location, gender, age, and key terms. So I'm going to go over an example with you. Say that I am creating a retail store. I'm going to base it off the city that I'm in and any of the surrounding cities around you. Gender, are you wanting to focus on male or female? Say I want to focus on females between the age of 18 to 45, then I could, set that age limit and it would target those people. And for key terms, it's basically just any interest that people might have already had on their page. For example, shopping, fashion, clothing, brands. By adding any of those key terms, people that have already liked pages, they're more likely to show up on their news feeds rather than people that have not had any interest in those topics. And Facebook customer audiences help reach your most likely repeat customers. Existing customers already know and trust your brand, so marketing to them can produce much higher conversion rates than trying to reach people who have not bought from you before. All right, so now we're going to go over the difference between boost or sponsored ads. You can obviously, it's free to make any post on any social media platform, but you will get better engagement on your post when they do have some kind of budget behind them. So to start, a boost post is a post that goes to your Facebook page timeline. You can apply money in order to promote to an audience of your choosing. This is the simplest way to advertise on Facebook, but it is less customizable than Facebook sponsored ads. So it does have a smaller audience size. It's extremely limited when it comes to targeting. There's limited budgeting and scheduling options, but it is easier to use. Now going into sponsored ads, where a boosted post may initially optimize for page likes, comments, and shares, or overall brand awareness, sponsored Facebook ads can optimize for app installs, web conversions, video views, shop orders, and more. And it does have a larger audience size, a more robust audience targeting. There is more budgeting and scheduling options, but it is a little bit more complicated to use. All right, so now that you've been on your social media platforms for a while now, it's great to grow your online presence, and we're going to give you a few ways. One of the most popular ways, I would say, is giveaways and promotions. And I'm sure we've all been scrolling on our own personal social media sites, and you've seen those posts, like and follow our page, tag 3 friends for a chance to win. It's a great way to, spread the word, get more people to know about you, boost your brand awareness, engagement, and even sales. The next, like we mentioned earlier, you do want to engage with your customers as much as possible, and it's great to show that you're listening to them and that you're responding back with things that they might want to see. Next, hashtags. Everyone seems to be using hashtags these days to bring people to their blogs or websites. And another idea is to consider creating your own personal hashtag. I've seen before when a company creates it and people use it, it's a great way to click on that hashtag and you can monitor directly what people might have to say about your business. Also, I think that positive reviews and customer testimonials are also great to grow your online presence. For example, if people have good things to say about you, it's going to drive more traffic to your page and people might want to buy your product and service more. For example, you're at a restaurant and they're like, leave a review on our Facebook page and we'll give you a coupon for 10% off your next meal. Also, it's good to post any awards and recognition that you might have too.
And, consumers are 71% more likely to buy after a positive social experience. I definitely, I am that way for sure. I mean, I think most of us, if we're looking for a hotel or, anything, we look at Yelp, we look at the positive reviews to make sure that what we're getting ready to, to purchase or to book or to look into is a positive experience. 50% are more likely to buy from a brand that their mutual friends like. And, I never really thought about this so much, but it is true, because once you see a store that's on my feed or on my scroll, I see that 3 of my friends like it, and it automatically it lends more credence to it for me. If they like it too, I'm thinking there must be a reason they like it. 2 key tactics to use when attracting customers to your website are: 1, on all social posts, you want to make sure you add the website links to those social posts. So, for example, if we are promoting, I have an automobile client that we do their social media marketing for. So anytime we make a post for, let's say, a Ford F-150 truck, we take that link and direct it. So if somebody hits on the link, it takes them directly to that particular truck that we're posting. So he can see the interaction on that, how much traction it's getting from that post. And it also will allow him to move on to another. Once it's to his website, he can go to a homepage or he can go anywhere else that he wants as well. We also want to add social sharing links to the footer of your website. We talked a little bit about this in the very beginning, but the most important thing for your business is to have a website first. That is your online store. That's your front store location, and people want to see it. Adds legitimacy once you have your website. So you want to make sure that you do invest in a website first. And then with all your social media, you want to make sure you've got the icons that are on your website that people can click on and go to your social media, because that's more the fun part of what your website can afford you. You can share specials every day. You can share, any experience clients have had or customers have had with your particular Facebook pages or Instagram pages or, any of the social media platforms that you use. And in conclusion, I feel like we could go on and on talking about social media. We wanted to touch on it and give you guys an opportunity just to know kind of almost a social media one-on-one on how to first get a Facebook page started, which we feel is the most important, because once you've got that started, we can at that point take those posts and share them. We can cross-platform them, so they could also go on Instagram and other social media platforms. Social media is definitely a part of the buyer's journey and has been for more than a decade. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, it's only growing. And by incorporating social media management into your marketing strategy, you're able to reach potential new customers, strengthen relationships with your current customers, and have a free presence where many people are already spending their time. Focus on networks you like and that target your customer. Enthusiasm will come through in all your messaging and encouraging interactions with your post from your followers. After all, the point is to be social on social media. We wanted to, at this point, I'm sure you guys have some questions. I hope it wasn't too 101 for you, because I think most people are familiar to some degree with social media, but we just wanted to get started. So if anybody has any questions for us, please let me know.
I did get a few questions that came in. So would you say Facebook is more beneficial for business to customer or business to business?
Business to customer.
Okay.
For sure. I think that's probably the number one platform for business to customer. You would agree also,
Yeah.
Caitlin?
I think the platforms also depend on what your business is and exactly what you're trying to sell. But yeah, I would definitely say Facebook is the most effective for business to customer.
Anything retail needs to be on Facebook. I think I'm trying to think, most industry that we represent all are on Facebook.
What is the cost range for the Facebook boost and Facebook sponsorship ads?
I'll let you answer that, because it varies, of course. So go ahead.
Yeah, I would obviously say the boost post, you still want to put some money behind depending on what your budget is. If you have an ad that you want to put out that's a little bit more specific and you're trying to get more in depth with your targeting, generally those are what you use the sponsored ads for, and that does generally have a larger budget behind it. And the boost post, they do show up on your news feed. When people click on their profile, they're still on your page as well. So generally you have more of those, so you tend to put like a smaller amount behind those, I would say.
Yeah. And, we try to work within, when we help our clients, we try to work within everybody's budget. You can put as much or as little, but we usually guide in that, because it depends on the demographic that you're trying to reach out to, how much, the location, how many, are we looking at 10 miles out, or are we looking at, 40 miles out? So you can do like almost like $5 a day even, and then it either,
The sponsored usually have at least a couple hundred behind them, I would say.
yeah, the sponsor, typically speaking, usually for a monthly budget, we try to put a couple hundred behind it. So yeah, it varies. It's not a definitive answer on it. So it does vary by client and goals. We usually meet with our clients and try to strategize and determine, what their goals are. But it's not real expensive. It's not something that, we come up with a budget and then we talk about how many posts and what that will do. So the expectations are there, and the good thing is at the end with the reporting, we can see what that did. And if we need to add we can use a little bit more or less. Sometimes we're like, we don't need as much. So,
How do you handle multi-locations with one page?
so give me an example. So would you, okay.
We are a multi-site practice. in our Facebook page, I don't know how to make it show that it just indicates our main location.
Different ways to do that. One, you could show okay, for example, we represented, this is not as professional as what you're talking about, but we represented Domino's for a long time. Well, as you know, Domino's has several locations. So we had a main page for the main Domino's that always, we delivered everything they needed to know on that main page. Some of the other offices did a spin-off of that. So for example, in your case, it could be, we have a main page for the practice itself. And then we could have spin-offs of another location that one doctor might have a little more personal, something personal that he might want to say, and might target a specific area instead of you. In that case, in a larger practice where you might be going outside of your maybe a 50-mile radius, we would want to target that, but we could do specific pages also for a 10-mile radius within, say it's a dentist office that only really wants to reach out to, to his specific area that he thinks he would draw people from. Am I answering that correctly as to what you are meaning?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Yes.
How do you sponsor a post? When I'm on my business page, I don't see the sponsor option, only the boost option.
Okay, so the sponsor is actually in a completely different section of your business manager. Like she mentioned, the boost, it does show up right underneath your graphic that you've already scheduled and published, but underneath your business manager, there is a section called a creative hub and ads manager. You want to first create your ad, add your graphic or video, your caption, the landing page that you want the post to take you to, and then you can from the creative hub import it to ads manager. Sorry, it's a little bit more in depth. There's quite a few
It's a little more
steps.
complicated. That's what we were saying. It's a
But,
little more complicated.
But it is a different section, and most of those sponsored ads will be all of the targeting and everything else will go through ads manager. Sorry, I'm trying not to go like too in detail, but because there is quite a few parts, but whenever you import it from the creative hub, it'll give you what's your objective for this ad. Do you want to increase brand awareness, website links? Then you can go on and continue to add your targeting and your budget and how long you want. Do you want it to run for a month? Do you want it to run for a week? And then from there, you can just hit publish and it'll give you how much it's been a day, how many people have clicked on your post, how many people have visited the website through your link, things like that. So I would definitely say the ads manager, it's a little bit difficult to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, it has some really good insight for your page and it has great results.
So I would say, so you would say then just spend some time on ad manager itself,
Yeah.
to try to, learn your way through it.
But it is a completely different section rather than where your business page is. On the left side, when you're on the home page, it has Creative Hub, Ads Manager, all of those sponsored, more in-depth ads will take place there.
It's definitely a little, it's I don't want to say it's easy, but we all probably have experience with posting a Facebook page, whether it's personal or, I've got a Facebook page, but to go on the back end and really manage it for me personally, to be able to manage it and go out and make ads and hit the right people, reach the right people is not something that's real easy, to do. We can all, even with businesses, I know a lot of businesses make their own Facebook page and they're able to definitely post anything, because you could say, let's say it's a retail store, we're having a great day. We've got, jeans on sale today for $39.99. Come in today, only till today. That's great. You could post it out, you could add it to your Facebook, your business Facebook page. And that's good. The bad part about it though, is it won't go anywhere else but to your followers. So our whole goal in the Facebook strategy is to get as many followers as you can. Otherwise, you're just talking to the same 10, 20, 100 people that, that's following your page. So our strategy always is to continue to increase your likes. We, on the back end, you can tag different people. The contesting we talked about, there's so many different ways that you can grow that social media presence. So, it is a little more complicated on the back end, but that's where, the next section could possibly be learning how to do that on the back end. Taking a little more time to figure out how to do boost and post. And boost is easy, I should say. It's easier to use. You could always start with that. But I'm sure in your own personal Facebook feeds, you see where you'll see where it's a sponsored ad. And if you ever notice, you can go and look at something on your website, or you'll do a Google search for something you may be interested in. And you're interested in that, then all of a sudden, they're bombarding you with a sponsored ad on your Facebook page. And technology today, you think, how are they able to get all of that? But that would be where the sponsored ad could come in,
And also, I think I mentioned briefly earlier, but the boost only shows up on your Facebook newsfeed, while the sponsored ads that you create through the ads manager portion, they show up, in between Facebook stories, Instagram stories. You're even on Facebook Marketplace and you see a sponsored ad. It just can show up in more places than just where the boost
just on your
would show
Facebook
up.
feed. Yeah.
And I think that was our last question then.
No more?
I
Well,
think-
with that said, we want to thank you guys. Hopefully you learned a little bit more. I know it's still confusing. We could go on and on and on. This could be a day seminar on on social media. We are here to help. If there's any questions that you have, or think you'd like to take your social media to the next level, we would love to help you. That's what, that's one of our things that we do best. So we appreciate your time so much, and everyone have a great day.
I'd like to thank Bea and Caitlin for being with us today. It was a great presentation. And I just want to stress that one of the things that will be taking a huge change as we come out of the pandemic is that everyone is going to need a larger digital presence. We have, as we were speaking prior to everybody came on, we have a larger group now that is used to being on social media, and it's a market that everyone needs to tap into. So I cannot tell you how much the Chamber appreciates Bea and Caitlin, and you can tell that we just touched the tip of the iceberg with them, but I'm sure they will, if you'd like to call them or ask them to help you with their businesses, I think they would do a great job. And just let you know, the Chamber, when we have done our marketing, I will tell you the best ones we've done is the combination of the social media and paid ads and different things like that. Our website is in every state, and I think it was 19 foreign countries. So it pays off. You just need to know who you're marketing to and what they want. Okay. But I don't see anybody, but we're going to give you the clap here, the clap everybody saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And we appreciate it so much. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank y'all so much. Everybody take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it.